This is a totally unplanned and unexpected video. I came to this temple years ago and there was a natural area just behind. And I came here today to make a video for my other channel about photography. But I can't find that area. I've either forgotten where it is or they've built on it, but I just can't find it. But I found this. It's quite spectacular and it's really surprised me. I've mentioned before that there are no real spectacular temples in Hat Yai. Well, this one being built will be spectacular when it's finished. This temple is called Wat Hatyai Sitaram, and it's also known as Wat Hatyai, and it's on the airport road. It's made entirely of wood and the little details are intricate and really beautiful. Now, I've just been speaking to one of the monks who lives here. He's been here for 24 years. He tells me it's a Northern Thai design and it's the only temple in southern Thailand built to a Northern Thai design. And the other amazing thing is that all the work is being done here. That's why you can probably hear a lot of noise in the background. There's saws going. It's like a sawmill here. The resident monks are doing a lot of the work. They've also brought in local craftsmen, and there's also craftsmen from Chiang Mai who have come down to help. These huge pillars are single tree trunks, and they've brought in a Buddha image from India. And the whole place must be costing a fortune. The monk mentioned 10 million baht already, but I suspect that when it's finished, the cost will be a lot higher. The Buddha image is remarkable. It's huge, and it looks as if it's been carved from one piece of wood, and the weight must be immense. And getting it to here from India was a remarkable feat. Same with these big wooden pillars here. Each one must be very, very heavy. They're bringing in entire tree trunks, and the resident monks are using chainsaws and wood cutting equipment to cut them into planks. And I asked the other monk whether it was teak, and he said no, because teak is extremely expensive and probably quite difficult to get. He told me the name of the wood in Thai, Mai Pam Sao or something, but I don't know what that translates to in English. Size of this thing. I just asked this monk whether he's still got 10 fingers, and he assures me he has. Looks like pretty dangerous work. Tree trunks in the background. These monks work really hard. It's quite amazing, and when I came to this temple today, this is the last thing I expected to see. And it's like a timber mill. Everywhere you go, there are either tree trunks, raw tree trunks, or wood that's been cut into planks and posts. And I read recently, well, probably not recently, maybe a year or two ago, that the price of timber in the US for construction has sort of gone through the roof, making new houses very expensive. So all this wood here must be worth an absolute fortune. Sawasdee krap. Just some novice monks at the temple. There's a lot of monks at this temple actually. Sawasdee krap. I think he's pointing towards a guy who's doing some turning on a wood lathe, so I'm going to have a look over there. It's extremely busy here. Everyone's really working hard, and there's like a senior monk in a mobility scooter who's going around making sure that everyone's doing their work. So it's just really surprised me today. But okay, this guy's got a wood lathe and he's turning some of the smaller posts. เป็นคนที่ไหนครับเป็นคนที่ไหนครับ
เชียงใหม่ครับ
เชียงใหม่
ใช่ครับ
โอเคมาที่นี่นานอยู่ที่นี่นานหรือยังครับ
ประมาณครึ่งเดือน
okayดีครับ so he's been here he's from Chiang Mai he's been here for half a month so I think the skills for making this kind of a temple are predominantly in northern Thailand in Chiang Mai, so they've had to import the skills by bringing tradesmen down rather than doing it with local tradesmen. Everywhere you go there are temple dogs, people working and timber absolutely everywhere. These workers are from the Isaan region, Nakhon Phanom and Nakhon Nakhon, and they're also workers from Chiang Mai. The temple has a lot of land. There are quite a few rubber trees as well. And one of the disadvantages is that there are a lot of mosquitoes. I'm getting bitten all over the place here. And they also teach Buddhism. This sign here says Mahalai Ba Yang, so Ba forest, Yang rubber, so rubber forest. And university is Hat Yai, so I guess this is the same, Mahalai. And a little bit earlier on I did see a senior monk teaching some younger monks. I'm not sure if they're still there. And they have to learn the Pali language. It's like people studying the Quran need to study it in Arabic. Well, if you're studying Buddhism properly, you need to study it in Pali. One of the novice monks has just told me that their studies have finished for the day. I guess they start very early and then finish before noon because of the heat, and then start doing other work at the temple. So this is their classroom. There's a whiteboard and a few desks and chairs, and I'm not sure what this is referred to as, but it's like this little Buddhist Bible, and very difficult to read. Thai is like several languages, and the level that I can read at is very, very basic. And then you go on to the formal level, which is more difficult. And then you've got the royal vocabulary and this sort of special vocabulary for Buddhism. So I would guess even the monks here, you know, who can read basic Thai very well, probably have difficulty with the language they need to use to study Buddhism. All the gold glistening in the sunlight. This isn't a temple that visitors to Hat Yai generally come to. There are other temples that are far more popular. But my prediction is that when this is finished, it will certainly be on people's list of places to see in Hat Yai. It really does look spectacular already. And it's going to look even better when it's finished. And with so many temple dogs around, there are bound to be some puppies as well. This one's growling at me. And with Thai temples, also the temples at Angkor Wat in Cambodia, you can stand back and admire them from a distance, but you should also go up really close, look at the detail. Each of these little things must have taken a long time to make, and there are hundreds of them. The man hours that go into making these places is immense, with intricate carving here. Very, very impressive. These big pillars have been left with a natural shape, which looks far better than if they'd just been made perfectly cylindrical. I looked in my dictionary app on my phone for the type of wood he told me. It's my Tam Sao, and I couldn't find it. If I find it later, I'll put it below in the description of this video. This is the gong with which presumably they summon the monks for meditation and maybe for meals. There's also a clock and a microphone connected to a PA system. And in this area there are a lot of little huts where the resident monks live. They're taking a shower over there, and there are also huts on the other side of the temple. It's really quite a big temple, and there are a lot of monks in residence. At some temples there are no monks in residence, at some there are just a few, and at some, like this one, there are a lot. And the temple dogs get used to the people who live here permanently, but whenever a visitor comes they get quite upset and keep barking. So I've had dogs barking at me all day. But if you get aggressive with them, they just bark more. If you be friendly, try to be friendly with them, they normally calm down. Come here, come here, come here. This one doesn't want to be friendly. I made friends with this dog earlier by giving him a pet when he was barking at me, and he's just seen me again. He's recognised me and he's come back for some more. So most of the dogs are fine. Don't be afraid. They'll bark at you, but it's very unlikely that they'll bite. This is the old part of the temple, and there are names for all the different buildings at a Thai temple, but I can't remember what they are at the moment. And just over here is where they're building the new temple. So it's definitely a place that I would recommend seeing in Hat Yai, but not quite yet. And the monk I was speaking to earlier said it may be finished next year, or it may take longer. But in the description I'll give a Google Maps link, so if you're in Hat Yai in the future you'll be able to find it. There are a lot of novice monks here as well. I just spoke to one young lad. He's 12 years old from near Bangkok. And there's a Thai consonant named after the novice monks, Nornan. And some local people have now come to the temple to pay their respects to the Buddha. Thailand is never short of surprises. I came to this temple this morning to make one video for one channel, couldn't do it, and ended up making a completely different video for another channel. Anyway, if you have any comments, please leave them below, and more videos soon.